no, Poik, you're not going to get out of this one, even if you guys lose the series. And that's still not sure. Even if it happens, you committed.
Let's find out. Game number 3 is ready. Curious to see where we end up this time, man. This series so far has been insane. Leftovers.
Vikings
They're
player,
looking
like
to
it.
close this out by taking us to Tomb of the Spider Queen. They've been showing their aggression all series long. They're looking to keep that trend going here.
I can tell you, like all Poik song jokes aside, Dignitas is currently looking at this, and you want to have the perfect season. You are not sitting there and saying like, nah, we don't care anymore. Yeah, you do care. So right now, Dignitas, you just made him angry, Leftovers. Now you have to see if you can actually deliver the finishing blow, because if you can't, then Dig is going to come out swinging.
They poke the bear. Dignitas is going to wake up. One thing, so get ready for this pun, man. The Leftovers are hungry. They're showing it.
Yeah, they are.
Selfish.
It's great coordination. They're doing a fantastic job. They have very solid drafting. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Leftovers. It makes me even more hyped, and it's so tough right now from a European perspective to think about the teams that you want to go to BlizzCon outside of Dignitas, because we have some fantastic, well-performing teams currently that here in Europe that I would love to see on the international stage.
One day NA might be able to get 3 teams out the BlizzCon. One day.
Yeah, keep dreaming.
Leftovers are going to first ban Tyrande. That was definitely the default of Leftovers earlier this weekend.
That
They've
slot
been doing
is ours.
so far, so far.
I hope we get to see at least one Xaylia Tyrande this series. I think Winterheart, you are going to be heavily disappointed with that, because Leftovers immediately went in and said, like, you know what? The girl with the green hair and the birds? Nope.
Not a fan. Not too
Not
much of a
happening.
fan. I mean, Mopsio's Diablo was pretty hard countered by the Tyrande, so I do like that adjustment. The Leftovers as a team have not yet figured that out. I wouldn't want to take any hero I'm not 100% confident on against a team like the caliber of Team Dignitas, and that methodology seems to be working out for them pretty well.
I mean, to be absolutely honest with you, if you give Link Deckard Cain all the time, no matter if he can play Tyrande or not, why would you if you are so insanely good with Deckard Cain that every other support in the league basically acknowledges that you are making insane plays on that hero? And he had such a huge impact in every game so far. I think it's time for Dignitas to address that aspect and say, let's take Deckard away from them. Either ban it at some point, pick it for yourself, it doesn't matter. They were so far playing with Stukov, they played with Ana. I like the Ana Liming composition. Fnatic had shown great games with it, but I really feel that picking Deckard for yourself might be a good idea, considering how Link just pops off on the hero.
I mean, the synergy is there. It's obviously, it speaks for itself. I would be very cautious about letting that support go over to Leftovers again. I'm curious to see how Dignitas approaches these 2 first bans, because at the beginning it would seem to be pretty straight up, and then in the second game you saw them kind of be conscious of the front line and try to address Mopsio. But meanwhile, Link has just been hanging in the back like, okay, let me keep getting Deckard Cain, it's fine.
I mean, it's tricky. Your first pick on Dignitas, so let's say those heroes make it through the bans, right? What is happening around that? Do you give up Urel? Like, if you actually would pick Deckard Cain first, for example, you give up Urel all of a sudden. There's a lot of things happening that you just don't really want to hear.
Pepperpool said, I should go to sleep, but Dignitas versus Leftovers is just too exciting to pass. You're serving yourself well, Pepperpool. You want to see how this one plays out, for sure.
All right, Genji banned out, and here's now the bigger question. What is Leftovers going to ban for Tomb of the Spider Queen here?
Okay,
I want to see that first pick for Dig. Is it going to be a Urel pick? Because if you pick Urel, you give Deckard Cain up again if Leftovers try to prioritize that once more. Oh, Urel even banned out. Okay. So no ambitions of Leftovers to take that early. Now, how does Dignitas react? Are they actually trying to take Deckard Cain here early on? I personally doubt it a bit. I could see it, but I think we're going to more so have an adjustment. Oh, Medivh is also around. For this map, it's actually not a bad pick. Could be what Dignitas decides to run. Maybe not as a first pick here, but definitely in the composition in the long run.
All right, Team Dignitas showing that they're trying to address the hero pool, the front line at the very least. They ban Diablo, they take Garrosh. Mopsio's like, I'm more than fine on one of these other warriors, so I mean, you can take that away. The taunt, we did a lot of work with that last game, obviously, but I do have some other tricks up my sleeve. I think Deckard Cain in the 1-2 here would be pretty good, and they're going to take that, and they're going to help themselves to Maiev as well.
Get the Giza.
Get the Giza.
Maiev with that. 2 power picks. Split Kidney, great on Maiev, Deckard Cain. Linked have talked about this. The two players already on their best hero.
We live in a world, Caldor, where 75% of the people think that Leftovers are going to beat Team Dignitas?
Give that a minute. I'm always these things switch very, very rapidly after the initial ones. I've fallen into that trap more than once. But look what we have here. Just talked about it, and there it is. Medivh with Jaina.
I think that's a strategy that Team Dignitas is going to get a lot of value out of, having that protected at the right moment. We've seen so many times someone's low on health, just about to get taken down, and then they finally do. If you have the protected at the right moment to keep them alive, and then you get Poik playing Jaina at the right moment, that could be pretty good. It also helps Garrosh get in and out of a sticky situation.
Banana. Finally we're there.
Banana?
Yeah.
Oh, Banana.
Banana, yeah. I would rather have had it with the monkeys, but I mean, I don't get that, so I have to have it here. Tim would have smiled. Like Tim made.
I was about to say, Tim deals with this every week.
Tim gives me at least the courtesy smile where it's like, yeah, you're not funny, but at least I'm gonna pretend that I get your joke. So it's like,
oh, I got it. It took me a moment.
I got the German excuse. Like, we're not about to be funny.
I was like, banana.
It's like banana. You see, now you get it. It took you a little bit longer. That's why.
It did take me a little bit. I would concede that much, but the blank face was genuine, man. I was just like, okay, I see you out here.
All right.
Malfurion, and then the Zul shows up.
Yeah, that's not the only thing that showed up. We have a Zul main tank with that. I mean, again, it's a double support. It's very much so the similar strategy of what we saw the last time. You have a Zul with the sustain in a melee heavy setup. You have a shield through Tassadar, and you have also Deckard Cain. That's not too crazy. You are on a map where wave clear rules, and which tank can actually... I mean, Johanna, to an extent, can really match... Not even she matches the wave clear that Zul brings to the table. So this isn't too crazy. And as much lull as an A has, it doesn't mean that the region doesn't come up with strategies that are actually valid. So kudos to an A for coming up with it. At the same time, also good to see that the European teams are paying attention to what happens in other regions, trying it out, and are playing it right now. With the double support, granted every time so far, but it was successful earlier. Leftovers have something where they said, okay, let's see if that works out for us.
Leftovers. It's just you and me right now. Can I get the ISO? Can I get the ISO? I just want to talk to Leftovers real quick.
Okay.
Please, think of my Hero League games. If you beat Dignitas 3-0 with a main tank Zul, what kind of chaos are you going to unleash on this half of the planet? I would love to see you win 3-0, sure. But a main tank Zul to beat Dignitas?
Context, always context. Main tank Zul with the double support.
At all, but 8 supports at all.
Okay, here we're going. If you play your next Hero League game and someone says, okay, I'm going to play Zul main tank, what would you rather have, a solo or a double support?
Double support.
Yeah, you see? That's my context. Tell them.
Potentially the last game of the series. On the left side, we have Team Dignitas. Wooby is on Phoenix. Snitch playing Medivh. JPL's on Garrosh. Poik will be playing Jaina. Zelia will be dropping roots on Malfurion.
Poik is not only going to be playing Jaina, he's also going to be playing a guitar solo very soon, no matter what happens here. To the left side, right side, the other left side. Leftover starting with Deckard Cain, linked again on his favorite hero, Kidney, on Maiev, Potipos, on Tassadar, Mopsio, on the main tank, playing Zul, and DAB on Tracer. All right.
Lands a stun on the DAB. Doesn't have to deal with Sergeant Hammer this time. We'll have to deal with the protection from Medivh, so those pulse bombs will have to be there. Pretty narrow window. A lot of damage going in. JPL and the crew look to get this early team fight going. They need to establish themselves early on, I feel. Otherwise, the wave clear advantage with this Zul could be a lot to deal with.
And we talked about it already a bit earlier here today, but let's talk about the build on Zul again. So his build is really going to very heavily run around his level 7 talent, where he gets his own self-sustain. So you always want to sight away in every single fight. The more you hit, the better. You get a cooldown reduction, you get also an attack speed bonus, and you get then the self-sustain. With the double support, that normally means that you can sustain yourself through a lot of those fights. And especially when we're then looking towards the opportunities that are created with a good cage on Maiev, if they go down that path, they can really start and try and clump opponents up. That's where Zul is really going to find that value. There's a ton of wave clear on the side of Leftovers, with Zul already sliced in the way here. We have Casada with the Storms on top of that, and of course Maiev adds even more, so this is a pretty good setup for that. The big factor, the big X factor on the side of Dignitas is that Medivh flow once again.
Yeah, the Medivh portal comes in at the right time. It could be lights out no matter what the situation is. But one of the things that a main tank Zul really brings to the table is you're not necessarily expecting there to be a lot of camp clear potential from the frontliners. So when you have that Zul and you are able to get these bruiser camps out, you get them out quite a bit faster than a standard composition like what Team Dignitas is moving right now. By the time they complete their own bruiser camp, Leftovers are already knocking on the door of their portal.
Another thing that we have to point out from Dignitas' perspective is that Medivh alone is already, of course, terrifying, but you have that combo with Garrosh where you can set a portal up, move in, and then taunt the backline hero and try and get quick kills through that. So that is something where Leftovers have to be very cautious, especially, of course, with their squishies here. And also Tracer again being played by DAB. We saw in the game before already how much of an impact he has, how strong he is on that hero, how he's always finding opportunities, and that's something that will continue throughout that game. So let's see how that works. Therefore, the extra life leech there comes in already. The damage output and the kill. Jaina is down. Bone Prison to set themselves up. And that was exactly what we pointed out earlier. The slicing away, having those cursed strikes. The Grim Scythe on level 4 already doing a ton of work with the cooldown reduction.
Leftover skips the recycling bin, holds down the shift key as they delete Jaina in that first blood. A lot of damage is going in on Amapsio. He's going to be able to back away. There's the root connecting Blakitney, doing damage to Snitch. There's the portal, able to escape. Leftovers going toe-to-toe with the Titans of EU, looking pretty good.
And Dignitas moving in several times, thinking they have an easy kill there, and all of a sudden realizing, yeah, maybe we should back out of this one again, because that is a little bit more difficult than we expected. Already Whoopi eating the damage here, finding himself on a Phoenix offlaner. Haven't really touched upon that at all, to be honest, just because there were so many crazy things happening with that Zul double support. But there is no second melee on the side of Dignitas. Instead, it is Phoenix that is run on the solo lane, which is definitely very, very possible. Phoenix has everything you want from a solo laner. He has the shield mechanic that gives him the lane sustain. He has the wave clear that you need as well through the splash damage that he can execute, and him being a ranged damage hero allows him very easily to take on any kind of melee offlaner that exists in the game.
It's a strategy I don't think we see enough of personally. We still kind of value is had out of that. 41 gems were turned in pretty early for Leftovers, so they're right around the corner, and they do claim the first set of web weavers for the game. All the shenanigans over getting that takedown on Jaina allowed Leftovers to have all the time in the world to set this up.
Now, a big problem as you talk about Phoenix as an offlaner is that you have oftentimes in later 5-on-5 fights a disadvantage because you don't have that second melee hero at the front. But one of the things that they can use to negate that a bit is Medivh, and that's a big game changer here with that setup. But the web weavers come down, and now the question, how much do you get out of that considering you're already fielding an enormous amount of wave play here with your lineup? Is that going to be the moment when Leftovers are starting to take that big lead in experience? Already pressuring Whoopi again with DAB and Tracer, plus the additional storms that Casada is throwing out.
Boyka is doing an incredible job clearing down that web weaver with the Jaina. Whoopi, Snitch up top, or down in the bot lane trying to do what they can to stall the advance of Leftovers here. But one tower, part of the wall, good amount of the other tower taken down also to further secure that experience lead for a Leftovers who are really starting to dictate the terms of this early game.
They take the lead in experience here for sure.
For
they go for the 4-2, and I mean, ideally you want to get the second turn in after that. And the more structures you take down now, the better your chances of accomplishing that are. So they are going to aim for that again. Great lead in XP, pushing through the top lane. And they will be able to, at least for now, maybe even get Snitch here. That would be a disaster for Dick because Snitch hasn't completed his base quest yet. He's sitting on 19 stacks. He's able to walk away though.
Right now, we see Leftovers all over the map putting pressure on the Team Dignitas. Even down bottom, Whoopi was in no danger of the pulse bomb earlier on, but just the fact that DAB is continuing to take the fight to Whoopi and the rest of Team Dignitas is stopping them from setting up any kind of play. It's not allowing them to get on the offensive. As long as this pressure continues to mount, it's going to be that much more difficult for Team Dignitas to win a team.
But Dignitas turns in. The problem for them is that this turn-in comes just before Leftovers hit level 10, so it should be an easy defense for Leftovers. But it's a play that at least buys you a bit of time, and it's better not getting too much value out of your own, then all of a sudden having Leftovers turn in again with a level 10 advantage. So that's a bit of the trade-off that is there. Nice negate also through the warp. I mean, he pointed that out here as Tracer was trying to make the play, but Whoopi warps out, doesn't even eat any of the damage that could have come through here. Harvest Vitality as a level 7 talent gives, of course, now the sustain to Moxio, but here's the easy defense for Leftovers, thanks to that heroic ability.
I think that Pulse Bomb was intentional to force Whoopi back, so that bottom lane got next to no value out of the Web Weaver, because he got forced back, the lane gets pushed forward, the Web Weaver doesn't even make it past the fort wall. So I don't know if that was the play or not, but either way, 250 IQ, Galaxy Brain.
Still at lead though. Like, the defense for Dignitas is strong, but they would love to at least get the heroic abilities out of it. And with the Web Weaver active at the top lane, it's likely that that's gonna happen. Leftovers don't quite have the amount of gems yet that they need, but they are close and very likely that they're gonna try for that second turn in. Whoopi can't fall. DAB can never get that kill here. If he does, then 22 gems are gone. You lose out on even more presence on the map. That's something they just can't afford to do. 52 gems, 3 more, and Leftovers have a turn in. They can really get the majority of their gems turned in right now.
DAB just continues to harass Whoopi down there. In the boxing world, that's called peppering them with the jab. Just keep, you know, you're not going for the knockout blow, you're just trying to keep them honest and keep them on the back foot. 44 gems, 15 still in the pockets of Leftovers. Mopsio starts to channel that. Got stepping forward. The Unstoppable was used early, so that root is going to land. A taunt lands also. Decker Kane is going to get blown up. Mopsio, low in health, starts to back away. There's the Pulse Bomb. There's the Protected, by the way. 2 heroes down on the side of left.
And all initiated by Garrosh again. Leyline comes through, and they go for kill number 3. Blake Hitney in trouble. Tries to get the counter kill, but a quick move from Mohamed makes him safe in this case. Next kill as Maya falls. That's 3 confirmed, and all of a sudden Dignitas comes in swinging and says like, no, you are not gonna be able to just walk over us here. No gems lost for Leftovers though. Important to note here, the 11 that they were holding still are still in their possession, but now Dignitas is going to try and get that second turn in.
Those are the types of team fights Team Dignitas are going to need if they want to start talking about game number 4, having the throw, having the taunt. The Unstoppable was used arguably early because that Zul root did land, so there was an opportunity for Leftovers to capitalize on that with just the follow-up damage. And the leyline seal on the back end of any team fight is going to be a big problem for Leftovers.
Again, the quick rotations here, thanks to the portal, trying to move through the top. Looking to get some damage in. JPL is looking for the play. Their Web Weavers this time are going to do some work, and Leftovers have a leading experience, but it's nothing crazy. And that can definitely be exceeded by Dig if they take some structures, especially if they're able to take down a fort.
Taunt available, Ring of Frost available, Salvo up. So this is an instance where Team Dignitas, if they see the play potential, they can make it and do it with an exclamation point. They go through this middle fort wall for free. Leftovers aren't really in much of a position. They don't want to risk too much. If they stick their neck out there to try to protect this fort or the fort wall, and they lose heroes, that's how you start to snowball. You do not want to give that advantage over to a team of the caliber of Dignitas.
Another synergy that we haven't really pointed out, it's pretty obvious, but still I want to quickly go onto it. We have the target acquired on level 4 for Phoenix in the combat advantage, so a lot of extra damage coming out, working attacks in against slowed targets and getting the Plasma Cutter in there too. And if you run Phoenix with the Jaina, I mean, oftentimes we see the Earthquake, the Lightning Breath for the slows, but Jaina, of course, provides exactly that. So Whoopi is going to get very good damage out of all of this. Nice attempt by Leftovers to catch and force a fight here with a stay on while and listen, but a bit too slow on Link to really get value out of that, especially with Indomitable always be ready for from JPL's side to try and move away here. But Leftovers now have defended. They hold on to their forts. They have the level 13 a bit quicker than Dignitas, and they still hold the amount of gems they need to turn in again.
To their credit, they are able to hold on. One of the most interesting things in that situation is how do the Leftovers really try to defend? You have Zul, who has a ton of wave clear, but stepping him forward into throw range from Garrosh is something of a dicey prospect. That's going to be the easiest E-key Garrosh has ever had. Throw Zul out of position, 2 supports or not, that could be the takedown. So the wave clear response, while it's there conceptually on paper, could be a big liability if Leftovers tries to use it.
You can tell how Leftovers with the pressure against Whoopi always forces Phoenix to move back here. And Whoopi respects DAB a ton. He's moving out so quickly in a lot of these fights. Again, DAB forcing the portal. So the entire time, a lot of the attention has to be focused onto keeping Whoopi safe. Here comes again the attempt by JPL to make a play. The Bone Prison comes out, but he uses an Indomitable move away. And now it's Web Weaver time. Leftovers have secured the objective. They are still ahead in experience. And again, this can snowball that lead that they already have.
Leftovers just keep catching Dignitas on the second act. They keep putting damage onto Whoopi. The response goes in, they jump onto someone else. They throw the Zul root onto one person, immediately shift fire to someone else, gets the takedown there. That's how we saw Leftovers get ahead early on. They're coming through with the web weaver now. There's the root to stop Garrosh for the moment. But the aggressive portal, they're stepping forward. Even Talenteer, they're looking to go.
Yeah, Ford in the middle is gone. Ford at the bot lane is also going to get destroyed. Leftovers are currently getting a lot out of this. But the death of Zul puts a stop to that quickly. Also, Phoenix with the ult here. But still, the structures go down, and the lead of experience is in the hands of Team Leftovers. But of course, they want those kills. They need those kills. And Dignitas is capitalizing on Medivh with the quick portal rotations to make sure that they are at least not losing more at the bot lane. Particularly, of course, that wall at the keep.
Mopsio caught his pinky toe on that Ring of Frost. He's like, oh. Immediately is going to get wrecked. That will allow Team Dignitas to clear out the rest of the web weavers. Leftovers wasting no time to jump onto the siege camp. Snitch is all the wiser hanging out overhead. There's the portal drop. There's the ley line seal. But there's the containment disc. Zach Morris timeout on the Garrosh. Stay a while and listen is going to lock in. Poik gets shredded, and the chase is on.
Stay a while and get wrecked, son. Down goes Jaina, and they are going for kill number 2. They want JPL. The pulse bomb comes through. That's the kill, and the gems lost as well. Leftovers half a level away from level 16. They haven't taken the Siege Giants, but they got the 2 kills. They were way more important here. And again, they're slicing away here with Mopsio getting the wave clear. And Tassadar also, after the completion of his level 1 quest, looking fantastic here, of course. Just getting those storms in. And his 16 is going to give them a Psionic Echo right now that they can use to have even more wave clear in this setup. So much AoE damage on their part.
The Leftovers are playing out of their minds right now. They have a level lead. And bear in mind, that was a team fight that Team Dignitas was looking for. They started it off with the ley line seal, so for Leftovers to turn around and get those 2 takedowns and make their way up to the top map to get this boss, that means that Team Dignitas is trying to get on the offensive. They're trying to make moves, and they're used to getting their way when they do that. Leftovers denying them there is big right now.
Yeah, Bone Spear on 16 also, even more damage burst from Leftovers. But let's not forget, 116 hit for Dignitas. We can, with a Numbing Blast, also have even more burst from Jaina. And that is a threat to Zul at that front line, no matter what you're running here with double supports. Already the portal setting up so they can potentially jump into the back line, threatening Boss away. But this boss is still strong and healthy. Phoenix looking for the 16 in the mid lane, and he finds it. Retreats now to help with the defense, but it looks really bad for that particular keep. Again, the attempt by Snitch to look for the potential ley line seal here. They keeps the Goner, and Leftovers on the retreat here.
Skeletal Mages get so much value, not only slowing down Team Dignitas and agitating them, but eating some of the tower shots to maximize the value had out of that boss. Leftovers didn't have to be anywhere near that keep as it goes down to secure catapults for the rest of the game. Team Dignitas now find themselves in a compromising position. Every long team fight, they got to worry about it. Ley line seal goes out. There's the purification salvo. Ring of Frost goes down. JPL's going to throw someone to the front line. Zul gets blown up immediately. Link on the ropes, drops the potion onto himself. DAB jumps back in with the pulse bomb, and suddenly Malfurion vanishes off the map.
DAB is insane. This guy is absolutely ridiculous. The fight's over. Zul is blown apart and they're in trouble, and he just goes in, shows zero respect. He knows exactly which talents are up. He knows exactly what's on cooldown. There's nothing anymore to stop me. I can go in and I can get a counter kill, and they get it. He gets the counter kill against Malfurion. He has no Twilight Dream at that moment in time, and all of a sudden it's a 4 versus 4. Still the turn in for Dignitas, but he is always there to make these plays. Leftovers are amazing as a team, they are amazing as a unit, and every single player individually shines on heroes like Linked on Deckard Cain. The Maiev from Bleak Kidney is awesome, and then you have a killer like DAB that whenever he sees a chance, jumps in and smashes faces.
Take a hard look, kids. It's not too often you see Team Dignitas complete the objective on Tomb of the Spider Queen as a largely defensive gesture. They do not stand to get too much value. They still might not even be able to come away with their first quarter of the game, having lost their keep. DAB, again, putting pressure on Wubby, doing so much damage. Ever the fly in the ointment, just constantly harassing the front and back line of Team Dignitas.
No individual carry potential, my ass. That guy is just absolutely killing it. Here's the ley line, though. A 4-man ley line. The Ring of Frost and the immediate disappearance of Maiev and Zul, pulling a Houdini here as Team Dignitas is saying, you can kill our backline as much as you want. We are going to kill your entire team. Down they go. All the gems are lost except for what Tracer holds here. What an insane setup from Snitch. Snitch going God mode, and now they go for core.
That's a lot of damage. The Web Weaver wants to get in on the action too. That blast was enough to set up 4 heroes getting taken down with the portal forward. That's going to be the bottom keep. Dignitas, they're like, all right, we're not going out 3-0. We're doing this. We're descending onto this core. DAB, you can be as incredible as you want on Tracer, but that would be a tall order for you to somehow save this game. Team Dignitas showing that they know how to do it. We're talking about game number 4.
Again, he looks for the kill, but Snitch denies it, and now Tracer is down. Dignitas, they say, you can win the fights, we're going to win the game. They go in, they drop the core. What a turnaround by Dignitas. And Snitch, what a baller, goes in, and a 4-man ley line. 4-man ley line goes in and hits that from the side. What a fantastic situation. And Hoik is just saying there's like, I can't even miss that Ring of Frost if I'm trying.
Hoik puts a hand over his face as he presses the R. He's just like, this is landing. 4-person ley line seal that late in the game, that close to the enemy team's core. Whether you've taken down a fort or not, that is going to be a game ender. Snitch made such a play there.
That was a beautiful map. Great play from Leftovers the entire time. A good composition that worked well for them. The double support with Zul at the front line, getting the wave clear, focusing entirely, getting kills after kills, DAB with individual plays. And Dignitas holding on the entire time, trying to force fights, and then finding that one opportunity and not even hesitating. I mean, at that point, it was just immediately, okay, boys, core. Portal over the wall, ignore that completely, drop the keep, go in. You know, you have 35, 40 seconds. That's all you need.
We got to take another look at that. That play was absolutely insane.
Stunning
from Snitch. We see him go out onto the flank. Everything looks pretty standard right now for Leftovers. They're like, all right, we can just defend against this. We have a full health fort down here. What's the worst that could happen?
I mean, it's absolutely great. He gets the complete 4-man, the stay a while and listen attempt to shut that down. Hits only one at that point, and then Poik moves in after the interrupt, and he just gets the immediate double value. You can see how Wooby is dishing out the damage here too. So it's the full combo immediately onto Maiev, who just falls. Zul survives a little bit more, but then Wooby follows that up with even more damage. The Web Weaver even going in.
6-man award.
I mean, it is just a fantastic fight from the perspective of Dignitas. Such a great move.
You cannot count them out at any point. They are the raid bosses of this region for a reason, and they're showing it right there. 4 heroes is all they need, 16 minutes in the game to make that stroll over towards the core. Team Dignitas, they're not trying to go out like that. They want at least game 4. They want to run it back for the reverse.
And let's not forget one thing here. Up to that moment, up to that particular fight at the bottom,